Hi, in this video we're going to show you how to change the price of a for sale listing as well as the listing status of a for sale listing in OneKey MLS using Stratus. First step is to take a look at your listing inventory, select pending so you can see in contract listings as well, and then select the listing that you wish to edit. And then you can simply hit edit if you would like. Notice that there's a place where you can click to actually change this price and status pretty quickly. Otherwise, you can actually just go to the general edit listing fields where you see all of the listings in various tabs. And you can go to price right here and you'll see this is the price. Make sure you copy and paste exactly. Sometimes if the seller gives you something that has commas in it, you just want to double check to make sure you're not missing any digits. And then just simply delete this and then copy and paste in the new price. And again, double check and then hit submit. To change your listing status, again, go to your listings. Search for the listing you wish to edit. Hit this one where it says status price change. And notice that if you change the tabs to this price change tab, you can actually change the price here. Status changes can be done here. You'll notice because you clicked into a active listing, by default it goes into the new status being pending. And you'll see that these are the available options. Pending means essentially being in contract. So if you wanted to mark a listing, an active listing as in contract, you simply put in the contract price. Always make sure to double check. Contract date, for example, it should almost always be the same date. Never going back further than 24 hours. Selecting a date that's older than 24 hours than today's date would typically generate a fine by most MLS systems. So it's safer to pick today's date, which should be the date that you received the listing update request. Selling agent is just the agent who is the buyer's agent or who brought the buyer. If the buyer came direct, then the selling agent would just be the listing agent or the seller's agent. In short, if it's a direct buyer, there is no outside buyer's broker, then the selling agent is the listing agent or ourselves in this case. If the buyer has an agent, has a buyer's agent, then the selling agent would be the buyer's agent's name, and it will be provided in the ticket that the seller submits. You can search for names here. So you'll notice that the selling agent is required. So as discussed in this case, because we marked the selling broker as the seller's agent, meaning in this instance that there was no outside buyer's broker. So you select yourself, find yourself, and then you simply hit submit. Now we're not going to actually do this change, but let's say you wanted to change the status to sold. Let's do that as an example for a listing that is already in contract. So you see the status is already pending, and then you would want to change the status to sold, and then some new fields come up. Check carefully the contents of the ticket to make sure what the selling price is, right? So the sale price, if it differed from the contract price, check carefully, make sure no digits are missing. And then the title date is basically the closing date. It should always be today or within 24 hours. Otherwise, we incur an automatic fine. So updates should always be timely. And then in this case, the selling agent we put as ourselves because there was no outside buyer's broker. So the selling broker was the seller's agent, meaning we brought the buyer. There was no outside buyer's broker. And then the purchaser, in our fresh desk, we ask sellers to provide the buyer's name. So let's just do this as an example. And then moved from, this is a legacy field really. I mean, oftentimes buyers will not provide, so just put unknown because it's really hard to know these type of things. And then if you don't know this as well, typically just the seller or client doesn't provide, just put unknown. And then you simply hit submit. Now, the last one we'll go over is withdrawn. And for this, you can just put today's date for both because we are withdrawing it today. And for obligation date, their clients do not have any obligation when they cancel. They are allowed to cancel with us really at any time for the do-it-yourself agent-assisted FSBO listings. So the obligation date ends on the day that we are canceling, and then simply hit submit. Lastly, this is just miscellaneous, and you don't need to worry about this really if you work at Hauseit, but there is another option called canceled. So this is if for some reason you know that the seller canceled or the deal was canceled because while it was in contract, it fell out of contract for some reason. So then what date did it happen? And then the reason, perhaps there was a contingency that was met or something. But typically when people submit a request through Hauseit to delist their property, you simply hit withdraw to withdraw or delist the property. We hope you found this video helpful. My name is Chris at Hauseit. You can check us out at www.hauseit.com to learn more about how you can save money when you buy or sell property in New York or Florida. And of course, if you're a real estate agent in the New York metro area or South Florida, check us out, our careers page at hauseit.com to learn more about how you can work with our vetted buyer and seller referrals. Thank you so much. See you on the next one.